SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
Running a business is tough. If you're struggling with HR, benefits, and payroll, you're not alone. Many businesses just don't have the resources to keep up. That's where MWG Employer Services comes in. We provide a full range of employer services with everything from payroll to benefits to HR services and compliance, and can create a custom plan that fits your needs and budget. We're a Mississippi-based company that can help you focus on what you do best, growing your business. Call MWG Employer Services today at 601-206-7966 or go to MWGEmployerServices.com. You're listening to Sports Talk Mississippi On Demand, presented by Pearl River Resort. Escape to Choctaw, Mississippi and enjoy world-class gaming, the Dancing Rabbit Golf Club, and Geyser Falls Water Park. Escape to Pearl River Resort.
Sports Talk Mississippi is on the air. Sports Talk Mississippi is powered by C-Spire. Power your home or business with C-Spire Fiber. To learn more, visit supertalk.fm/C-Spire. C-Spire Fiber powers SuperTalk Mississippi. To the junction, in the Grove, and to the top. This is Sports Talk Mississippi. On your radio and in the game, right here on Super Talk Mississippi.
A busy weekend in sports is setting up a game that Brian Hadad was hoping for tomorrow night in Hattiesburg. We got it, a top 10 matchup in the midweek. Something that almost never happens in a midweek environment that basically never happens. You're going to get in Hattiesburg tomorrow. And I don't mean it never happens in Hattiesburg. I mean in college baseball. You don't get environments on the midweek like you're going to get tomorrow night. But we got to stop and recap the weekend before we look forward to tomorrow night. I'm Michael Borkey. He's Brian Hadad. We got a lot to get to. Baseball over the weekend. Southern Miss remains the hottest team in the country. If they're not number one, they are up there among number one in terms of hot start. They got a sweep this weekend. Mississippi State got two. Played what the coach described as was a heavyweight fight yesterday. Some controversy there at the end. We'll talk about it. Ole Miss lost a game they should have won in game one, dominated Ohio State, and then got smoked by Coastal Carolina yesterday. So a lot to take away from that. You had basketball over the weekend. Ole Miss snapped a 10-game losing streak.
Hilariously.
Mississippi State technically played basketball on Saturday.
That is correct.
Only technically. Josh Heupel trying to change the college football playoff format. I wonder why he's trying to do that. All that and more. And, oh, by the way, receivers from the state of Mississippi, they can fly. And we'll tell you, hopefully, about all that and more on this edition of Sports Talk Mississippi.
Yeah, we got a lot to do. We got a lot to get through. I don't know if we'll have time. I don't know. Got to get to Bed Bath & Beyond later as well. We are in the Pearl River Resort studios. Pearl River Resort. Guys, it's spring outside. Look outside. It's beautiful. It's 70 degrees. It's sunny. It's time to start planning those weekends at Pearl River Resort. It's time to start thinking about golf at Dancing Rabbit. Book your next weekend at pearlriverresort.com. C-Spire text line is open to you at 601-879-4395. Ready for your winning strategy? Here it is. Join C-Spire. All the technology and support you need to succeed at home, at work, and everywhere else. Visit cspire.com today. C-Spire, inspired by you.
Somebody says it's 81 degrees. Well, different parts of the state have different temperatures.
Hold on. Who said this to say? Here we go. Why are you the way that you are? Every time I try to do something fun, you make it not that. I hate so much of the things that you choose to be. Well, actually, guy over there.
Oh, man. Well, actually, guy for sure. I know we got to talk about this today. I was actually going to save it for winners and losers, but we got time here.
If you do hoops here, I'm going to be really disappointed.
No.
Okay.
No.
I want to let everybody know real quick before we get started. Mississippi State flight canceled last night, flew directly into Hattiesburg today. I'm supposed to catch up with Coach O'Connor tonight after they practice. We'll have that interview for you tomorrow on Sports Talk Mississippi, but Coach O'Connor not joining us today. Coach Ostrander and Coach Bianco still scheduled to do so.
Yes, absolutely. So we will have that tomorrow, though, ahead of the game, though.
Yeah, that's what I've been told.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff there. All right, we did get this text, and frankly, I don't have mixed feelings about it, but I understand some of you will. It says, the new bill that exempts taxes from NIL payments, that will be big for Ole Miss and State. So what is he talking about?
I was in a good mood.
I know. The Mississippi House passed a bill, so it's not law yet, but the House passed a bill that will exclude NIL earnings from the state's income tax, which will soon be, I say soon, within a decade, be eliminated for all Mississippians out there. Trey Lamar is talking about it, and I'll ask Alex to see if you're willing to come on and talk about this with us. But I have not efforted that yet. But here is a quote that he gave to the Clarion Ledger. NIL is taking the country and coming by storm. Other states are doing it, and I believe it's time for Mississippi starts doing this as well. So it's what? 3.5% is the tax on that for the state? Okay. Here's my thing. He's right. Other states are doing it. He's right. And in terms of real economic impact on the state's tax funds, very, very minimal, right? There's not that many players making a whole lot of money in NIL, so it's not like the state's losing some incredible, insurmountable amount of money if they don't tax NIL earnings for athletes. I understand that sports are important in this state, and being successful in sports are important to this state. In no way, shape, or form, in my opinion, and you're free to disagree, should athletes who in some cases are making millions of dollars, where backups and third stringers are making six figures, should get special tax treatment over you listening right now. Over me. Over Hadad, over all of you. On no planet will I ever think that that is okay. I don't care. Frankly, I don't care if it creates a competitive disadvantage for Ole Miss and Mississippi State right now. I don't care. I don't think the athletes need special treatment over the farmer listening to this right now. Ask a farmer. We're lucky enough we're going to get to tour a facility on Thursday. We'll tell you about on Thursday with Ag Up. I can't wait to meet those people and hear the stories. You weren't invited.
What?
But
get ready to learn that read, buddy.
There are so many of you out there that work as hard as you can and live paycheck to paycheck that would love to not have any percentage, that would do anything to have that small percentage not taken out of your paycheck every 2 weeks or bi-monthly. The athletes don't deserve that special treatment. They already get the taxes baked into their NIL deals anyway. That's already taken care of for them. And if that is really the difference between winning and losing, I would rather lose. Maybe that's controversial. I would rather watch Ole Miss and State lose than the athletes get tax breaks that you, the hardworking person out there, don't get. And I know it's coming 10 years from now. That's not today. You are free to disagree. I'd love to hear your messages if you do. They already get special treatment. They get scholarships. They get everything taken care of. And I support that, by the way, because they generate millions upon millions upon millions of dollars for their institution in ways that nobody else could. So they get rewarded for that, and they deserve that. Not a tax break. And every minute that is spent on giving tax breaks for athletes could have been spent on something more productive or helping people that need it more than the millionaire athletes. Off my soapbox. I'm done now.
Are you done now? Okay.
I'm done now.
I agree with what my cousin Marty is saying, though. It's like people get special tax treatment all the time.
I don't.
I mean, you don't, but there are people that do. This is just a new. I feel like the reason there's
this is giving a 1% income earner special taxes, or a special tax break, and I know that happens. I prefer it not.
I prefer it not to, but it does happen, and I think part of it is because this isn't. This is new money in the game, right? These guys weren't making this money 5 years ago. This isn't like a tech guy who's been, a billionaire for 2 decades, and you're like, well, what can you do? This is, hey, wait a minute, this guy just started making money. What do you mean he's not getting taxed? So, it's one of those things. It's like, I agree with you in principle. Like, there should not be tax benefits for NIL. I agree with that in principle. But at the same time, I completely understand why they're doing it, because you've got states in the SEC recruiting footprint that don't have state income tax. Mississippi's getting there, but right now you're at a disadvantage when you try to recruit against somebody from Florida or from Tennessee, from Texas. I believe those are the ones that don't have state income tax. And I mean, we say it all the time. I mean, sports is maybe the more powerful motivator than even political leanings.
It is. It most certainly is. So, Shane Gillis has a great bit about that, honestly.
Yeah.
There's an entire industry in this state that could use a tax break.
This guy says college athletes aren't creating jobs. You could not be more wrong.
They most certainly create jobs. They do.
Come to Starkville or Oxford on a game day weekend and tell me that college athletes don't create jobs.
They generate a ton.
Millions, billions of dollars.
Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll be right back in the Pearl River Resort Studio.
We'll talk sports.
I just wanted to get that out of the way because it's out there and I'm passionate about it.
This guy.
And it was our first text. We'll be back.
In the Venomous. This is Sports Talk Mississippi, right here on SuperTalk.fm, the SuperTalk Mississippi app, and always live on your local SuperTalk Mississippi radio station.
Talk Mississippi. Michael Borkey, Brian Hadad with you. We will move on. I understand it's a complex issue. I hear stories from people all the time that could use a break, and they don't get one, but the millionaires do. Speaking of getting breaks.
There we go.
Louisiana Tech did not get a break when they would chase the Southern Miss starter. I don't think I've ever seen this before. I'm going to ask Christian Ostrander about it coming up here in about 15 minutes from right now. I could not believe this stat when I saw it, and I looked it up, and boy, it is accurate. A member of the Southern Miss bullpen in a 3-game series on the road against a good program did not give up a run. The only runs given up the entire weekend was by the starters, and they only gave up 5 all weekend long. That is one of the most dominating pitching performances. Maybe I can't wait to hear Ostrander's answer. Have you ever had a weekend where your bullpen did not give up a single run the entire weekend? I'd be willing to bet the answer is no. I've never heard of that before.
They're playing really good baseball right now. There's just no getting around that fact. And earlier today, I talked with Dima Mixon from the Eagle Hour. He's going to be on the Thunder and Lightning podcast tomorrow. And I asked him, you go back to that opening weekend, and Southern loses that first game to a pitcher who's likely going to be one of the top 10 picks in the draft. They're down in the second game, and it looks like, what's going on? Why is this team, what's happening here? They come back, they find a way to win that game, crazy ending to it, and since then they've been unbeatable. And they run rule Alabama. That's a good Alabama team. They'll be on the periphery of the NCAA tournament. Louisiana Tech is a program that, year in, year out they're always on the bubble, if nothing else, in the NCAA tournament. And Southern just went down there and absolutely smacked them around. 3 true road wins for what should be at worst, a top 100 RPI team. USM's resume got so good over the weekend. And so now this game with Mississippi State, top 10 matchup. I'm calling it this. I think this is the biggest midweek game in the history of this state. And I know maybe there's some Governor's Cups that would, or Mayor's Trophy games that would want to disagree with me. But those, State Ole Miss is just a kind of a different animal because they play the 3 SEC games that mean a lot more, right? In terms of a midweek game, I don't remember anybody ever having one like this. This has to be the first ever top 10 matchup between these two teams. This is State's first true road game. It's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere tomorrow in Hattiesburg. State plays UCLA and Southern Miss. I mean, they're going to play 2 games against 2 teams that these games are being played on March 1st and March 3rd.
It's amazing.
You could play those games on June 15th and June 17th, and they would be the same kind of games, the same kind of talent. But right now, USM is playing outstanding baseball. And, with the injuries that Coastal Carolina, not that I don't think USM couldn't have won the conference even against a healthy Coastal Carolina. But with Carolina having the injuries that they have, USM has a real opportunity here to dominate the Sun Belt and put themselves in position to host another regional in Hattiesburg.
Oh, for sure. Midweek games, as I said at the very top, don't typically draw great crowds. Mm-hmm. Even at the places that draw great crowds, the Tuesday night games against whoever, they just don't draw.
This will.
There's a chance that, this is going to be the best midweek environment all season long. Doesn't matter where. It will not get better on a Tuesday night in college baseball than what you're going to see tomorrow night in Hattiesburg. It will not get better than that. Mm-hmm. It's going to be rabid.
Yes. And, what's kind of funny about it, and Dima and I talk about this, is that, and fans don't want to hear this, right? Because it means a ton for the fans. But for the 2 teams, if Mississippi State goes and loses a true road game to a top 10 team, not exactly a resume killer.
Oh, it doesn't do anything.
Doesn't hurt you at all. If Southern loses to the number 4 ranked team in the country at home, it doesn't do anything. It helps their resume, if nothing else. Yeah. It adds to their strength of schedule. So it's kind of funny how this game has so much meaning, and yet deep inside it really doesn't. And I hate that. And look, as a fan, and I know Mississippi State fans want to beat USM. USM fans want to beat Mississippi State. I'm not saying this game is meaningless. It has a ton on the line it's going to be for State, it's about, can you bounce back? You had your first real taste of adversity, a game you feel like you probably should have won. Now you've got to go on the road into a hostile environment, your first true road test of the year. Can you put it back together and get back on another winning streak? For USM, it's here comes this team that everybody talked about all offseason. This is the best team in the state, maybe the best team in the country. They're coming to our house. We have a chance to make a real statement. The kind of game that they will talk about in May. When they're talking about resumes, if you beat Mississippi State here, they're going to say there's a win right there. That's a huge plus for their resume. So there's a ton on the line for these 2 teams tomorrow.
Somebody's asking, will it be televised? Yes, on ESPN Plus. So not if you are a State fan that watches your games on the SEC Network Plus.
It's not the same.
It is not the same. And ESPN Plus is something that you have to pay for. You might already, but there's a chance that you don't. And I don't know. I wish I could be better informed to inform you. I don't know if you could buy like a day pass.
You cannot. You have to subscribe. It's like which reminds me. Let me unsubscribe from Flow Sports. But it's you have to subscribe for at least a month. So you pay a month and then you're good to go.
And it's what is it? $5? $6?
I don't even know. Something like that. Yeah.
If you have Hulu, it comes with it. But I don't know how many of you that actually is. But yes, it's on ESPN Plus. So you have to. There's 2 paywalls in order for you to watch this game tomorrow. But yes, it will air. And of course, on your Mississippi State SuperTalk stations, if you have our app or anything like that, you can find the station and listen to it if you would like there as well. So yeah, big one upcoming.
All right. Boy, Flow Sports makes you click 3 different things before you can get canceled. But I'm out. They did the thing where it's like one side's cancel and then one side is keep my subscription. You click on cancel, it flips them. So the next
No
one
way.
is, so it's like the cancel's on the other side.
You.
They're trying to get you. And
Unbelievable.
I was like, not today, Flow Sports. You got my $20. That's all you're getting out of me this year. All right.
If politicians are going to take up stuff against sports, there's one. Write a bill against that.
Against Flow Sports?
Against the cancellation policy of Flow Sports.
They're sorry to see me go. You knew what this was. You knew I wasn't long for you, Flow Sports. The one-night stand of streaming right there.
Man, could you imagine not canceling it and then just like this coming Friday? Hey,
what happened to Richard, remember? Richard, it was Fubo. Yeah. He kept Fubo for like a year.
Did he have 2 subscriptions to the same
something
service?
Like that. It's like, geez Louise, yeah. I'm glad you mentioned it, though, because it did jar my memory. I would have hated on April 1st to have gotten your Flow Sports invoice. But, like, no, I don't ever want to watch Flow Sports again.
Somebody's asking, who are the aces in Ole Miss's schedule this week? In Evansville. What was it, 2 years ago is when they beat Tennessee in Knoxville to go to the Super?
That's correct, yes. That's a decent baseball program, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the Evansville Aces. There you go. If you have Disney Plus, so if you have kids, you likely have Disney Plus. Apparently, it's for free on Disney Plus there as well. Thank you, Dan, for that one.
Yeah. Guy says, "Let me host one day. I'll give you my ESPN credentials." I have watched ESPN, sir.
I do too.
Like there's soccer on there. I have to have that.
We know your game.
Yeah.
We know what you're trying to do here.
Yeah, you're not getting in here.
I have had this idea, and there's 100 reasons why we wouldn't do it. But anybody that is like overtly critical about, oh, your show sucks. Okay. I will tell you the day you can come here and for 3 hours your mic will be on. Do a show. And I would love to see that happen. Just so you know what it's actually like. And I'm only asking you to do a one-off. They would get 10 minutes into it, hey, Dad, and be done.
Yeah, they're out of time.
I've had that idea. I've thought about doing that so many times. Just, hey, you think you can do this? Come on. Come on. I'll give you a microphone. Hey, Dad, and I'll stay out of it. We'll turn your mic on. Music starts. It is your show from 3 to 6, and have at it.
I give them 10 minutes before we have to hit the dump button.
Well, that's what we got it for.
Because they've run. They're like, get it. So yeah. Getting back to the point though, and we're about to talk to Christian Ostrander in just a moment. I'm fascinated to know his thoughts on this game Tuesday night. If he's ever does he remember a bigger midweek game like this? So we'll talk about that when we come back, I guess.
Yes, we will. Sports Talk Mississippi. He'll join us on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau. We'll be back.
From theseabrook.com.
You can be a part of Sports Talk Mississippi. 888-808-8637 on Super Talk Mississippi.
We go to the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau. Christian Ostrander joins us right now, as he does every Monday, fresh off a sweep of Louisiana Tech. And, Coach, let's start there. You knew going into it was going to be a really difficult task, a well-coached team, a tough place to play. Obviously, your team won 3 games, but what was your takeaway from the weekend?
Well, first of all, just, excited for our players to, go, get that sweep on the road. It's tough to do, no matter who you're playing, but especially them and in that environment. But, man, just very proud. I thought we really, did well at all 3 aspects. I thought we pitched it well, I thought we hit it well, and I thought we defended well. So it was just a good weekend for the guys, and, staying in the moment, not trying to do too much, just staying focused one at a time.
Your bullpen, as you know, did not surrender a run all weekend. Has that ever happened to you before?
I don't get. I mean, if it has, I sure would like to know it. But I wasn't aware of that until today. Somebody said that, brought that up to me, and I knew we pitched it well, but and those a lot of zeros once our guys, those guys got in there. But I didn't realize that. That's kind of a neat stat. Very proud of it.
Coach, I want to take you back to the first weekend of the season. You dropped that first game. You're down in the second game, and you have that crazy comeback with the drop fly ball and then the triple and everything. But you get the win. Does a win like that kind of plant the seeds to know what kind of team you've got? And you look around and you go back to that game and you say, yeah, this is where this run started, and I could tell it was going to happen?
Well, you can't forecast it too much. Not baseball, not college baseball, in my opinion. But it was definitely nice to see that characteristic of this team that weekend to show the resolve to stay, keep fighting, and give yourself a chance. So, and I think has bode well for us in other games since then. And so hopefully it's not just a coincidence. Hopefully it's a true trait that this team has.
Coach, I'm going to make you do something you don't like to do here. I know every game is the biggest game. I know that. But this game, you've got a top 10 matchup in a midweek. In terms of midweek games, is this the biggest midweek game you can ever remember coaching or being a part of?
I mean, it's got to be up there, right? I mean, but it's big for the fans. It's big for the, all that stuff involved. I mean, is it big for our program? Well, absolutely it is. But I really do think our guys are just looking forward to competing, in this environment tomorrow night and our fans and against a really good team that we have respect for. So, yeah, I just look forward to watching it, watching these guys get after it.
What do you know about Coach O'Connor from his long career before he got to Starkville?
I don't know him well. We talked several times. All very, very cordial man that obviously got a lot of respect for him. He's a legend in college baseball. I'm a college baseball coach, but I'm a college baseball fan too. And he's earned a great reputation, and everything I've heard about him is just top-notch human being. So I look forward to shaking his hand tomorrow and competing against him.
We're going to ask you to do another thing that I know you don't enjoy doing, and it's bragging on yourself. You had 100 career wins over the weekend as a head coach. What does that mean to you? And do you have a favorite one out of the 100?
I do not. No, I think they're all precious, but you don't take it. It's hard to win games at this level, and very thankful to be in this position and to hit that. People want to call it a milestone. I hope there's a lot more. Golly, I hope it's it's not. I hope this happens a lot, I guess is what I'm saying. But no, very thankful for the opportunities, thankful for the assistant coaches I have that work their tails off and bring great players in here and coaches them up, and I'm thankful for the players, so they're the ones that go do it. So, yeah, just enjoying the ride.
Coach, knowing you the way I do, I figured you were just going to say my favorite win is the last one.
Well, if I had more time to think about it, I probably would have.
I want you to tell me about Seth Smith, because this is a guy, didn't play much opening weekend. He's your leading hitter now. He cooled off a little bit this weekend. He's only hitting .478 for your team at this point. But where did this guy come from? This was not a guy that was in the starting lineup week one, but now he's become almost an indispensable member of your team.
Yes, Seth has been right there, is battling in that middle infield spots and, didn't have the best fall. I'll go ahead and tell you. I think he would tell you the same thing. And then this spring preseason, he pulled a hamstring, so he was kind of, he was just behind and starting the season, but got the opportunity. I think we're at Southeast Louisiana the first midweek, and he got a big hit in the 8th inning or 9th inning and kind of helped us get the go ahead and get a lead, and hadn't looked back, and has been playing good defense as well. So very proud of him, staying ready, and he's talented, man. It's not a joke. He's very talented.
Coach, you look back at this game a year ago, the game in Hattiesburg, and that was kind of a coming-out party for Colby Allen. He had a great outing against the Bulldogs, and that sort of sparked him the rest of the season. Chance for somebody to do that tomorrow. Who are you throwing against Mississippi State?
We're going to start the same young man we started last week against Alabama, Dylan Causey, a freshman. And I imagine you'll see, several arms. We'll see how it all plays out. We got a few guys we can lengthen out that hopefully we get that chance. So, we're going to attack it with going into it with the mindset of having, volume and some guys, if it's rolling, we're going to let them roll.
Going to be one of those games where we could see 6 or 7 pitchers, but we might only see 2 or 3 going just according to how the game goes.
I think so. I think we have some guys that are very capable of maybe getting that 6, 9, maybe even 12 outs, for somewhere in there. So we'll see if that opportunity shows itself.
And then beyond that, obviously, this game is unique on the midweek. You have another one Wednesday and then one more weekend series to get ready for conference play. What do we know right now? I know you don't like looking ahead, but about Nichols and then your opponent upcoming this weekend with North Alabama.
Right. Yeah, I haven't really looked at them, be honest with you. You kind of focus all on trying to gain info and intelligence on Mississippi State, and then Wednesday morning all day before that Nichols game, we'll be working on them and then get to North Al. But, it's anybody can beat you at any time. You got to be ready to play, and I know our guys will.
And then you look around your league. There's been success in the Sun Belt against these quote-unquote power opponents in the midweek. What does that say about the league that you're about to face here in a couple of weeks in conference play? Have you noticed the success that the league has had so far?
We have. Obviously, we pull for each other. At least, I know we want everybody in our league to win as many games as they can. That helps us all, and so you hope to have success. But it'll be tough. It'll be challenging. We know that. It's a good baseball league, and you got to show up and play every weekend, or you will get beat if you don't play well. So, I wish them all the best and hope they keep rolling, except the time when Southern Miss is in the other dugout.
Coach, with this rivalry between Mississippi State and Southern Mississippi, do you have a particular game that stands out, a particular memory player against the Bulldogs that stands out for you?
Yeah, it was the first game I called pitches here back in 2018, and Nick Sandlin's first career start, against them, and I think he struck about 10 or 12 in 7 innings, and just kind of set the tone that weekend. But I can remember that really well, and that was fun.
Having Nick Sandlin on the mound makes calling those pitches just a little bit easier, I think.
Yeah, it's like you're playing RBI baseball on Nintendo with that. It was fun.
I did not expect an RBI baseball reference on the show today. I appreciate that. Coach, when we think about, your team in the top 10, I know you're a one game at a time kind of guy. I know I'm getting you to look ahead is kind of futile, but your resume right now is as good as anybody's in the country. I know you're not thinking about it right now, but as each game piles up, do you start to have that thought in the back of your head of we're doing a lot to make sure our resume to host a regional is as good as it can be?
Yeah, I think we are. I mean, we don't talk about it, but I know, and with this schedule that if we can do what we're supposed to do, we've done a good bit to this point. I get that, and I'm very proud of these guys. And but if you don't continue to do what you need to do, then that gets washed away. And so we just got to stay focused and keep these guys going, in that one game mindset, because at our level, if you want to call it mid-major, which we're not a mid-major program, but every win matters, and every loss can be devastating. Any loss can be devastating. The wrong loss can be devastating. So when we're trying to achieve what we want to achieve, you don't get any mulligans, man. You got to stay steady and stay in the middle.
Only about a minute left, Coach. You think there might be a few people at Pete Taylor Park tomorrow night?
Man, I think it's going to be rowdy. I really do. It's going to be fun, and it's always fun here. But no, it's going to be packed. It's going to be good. It's going to be electric, and hopefully it's just a great college baseball game.
Coach, we really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us as always. Congratulations on another good weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, thank y'all.
It's Christian Ostrander on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team.
Yeah, just a few people at Pete Taylor.
Just a few.
Just a few.
Just a few.
A few thousand. So I
ready to lose their voices.
Talking to Dima earlier today, he mentioned that the record crowd there is from, I thought it was going to be from the Ole Miss Super Regional. It's not. It is from the Tennessee Super Regional in Hattiesburg a couple of years ago. And I don't know if this crowd will challenge that. I mean, obviously, Super Regional is a little different situation than a March 2nd or March 3rd midweek game, but there's going to be a lot of people. Mississippi State's walking into a hornet's nest for sure tomorrow.
We'll be right back from the Pearl River Resort Studio at Sports Talk Mississippi. Text us, 601-879-4395. We'll be right back.
Gotta make you feel sometimes. You can have no
and the Venom.
Sports Talk Mississippi on Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back. Michael Borkey, Brian Hadad.
What?
Glad you guys are with us. So, started with a pet peeve about taxes and stuff. Here's another one, Hadad.
Oh, no.
Here's another one. But you're going to like this one, and I think your people are going to like this one too. I saw some of this reaction after Mississippi State ended up losing yesterday on a controversial call. And it's not really controversial. It's a incorrect call. It's just wrong.
Yeah,
now,
there's no controversy. They missed the call.
Umpires are human beings. They miss calls. It's okay. Like, I'm not mad at the umpire.
I wouldn't say it's okay.
But when people say, well, in baseball, if it's close on 2 strikes, you got to swing. It's not Little League anymore. A professional baseball player is what they are at this point, but a high-level baseball player let ball 4 go because it was ball 4. He is a highly trained baseball player. He made the correct decision as a baseball player, and the umpire got it wrong. Mississippi State would have won the game had the umpire got it correct. I understand that more things happen in the game, and you can't put it up in the hands of the officials, but he didn't put it in the hands of the officials. He made the correct decision as he is coached and taught. I can't fathom applying the Little League mindset of, well, if it's close, you got to choke up the bat and swing if it's anywhere near the zone. No. This is high-level baseball. I mean, he made the right decision.
He made the right decision.
And he was not rewarded for making the right decision.
That's correct. And, in a major league game, O'Connor's immediately going to challenge that, and State's going to win the game. And, State's unlucky in the bottom of the ninth when the ball, they get a ground rule double, right? Gatlin Sanders is coming around third. He's going to score easily. And the ball goes over the fence. You got second and third. Second and third, no out. Yes, you should score there. You should be able to put a ball in play and score there. But at the end of the day, a missed call is what cost State this game more than anything else. And a call that's completely verifiable. Like there is a track man there. You can see that the call is incorrect. There's no judgment to it. That being said, I mean, you're absolutely correct. Like when people say stuff like that, it drives me crazy. It's like you got to swing. No, you don't. Why would you swing at a ball? It's a ball. Ball 4. You're going to walk. You're going to win the game. Why swing? I mean, think about where that pitch was for a left-handed hitter. If he does swing, what's it going to do? He's going to foul it off at best.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do as a hitter with that.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to extend his arms on that at all. So yeah, he made the correct decision. It's the wrong call, and just go from there.
But it was close. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It does not matter. The ball was out of the zone.
Exactly. Somebody says right here, it was an unhittable pitch. Yeah. We hit 6 batters. It's hard to blame the umps. It's really easy to blame the umps, Brian. It's really easy. They missed the call that would have won State the game. State would have won in spite of hitting 6 batters if the correct call, and it is absolutely, verifiably, the correct call had been made.
Yeah. Here's this text. As an umpire myself, you talked about grabbing a mic and coming and do it yourself. How ironic for you to say that. Come grab some gear and start calling some games. Easier said than done. You missed the part where Hadad said the technology is available to make sure that does not happen. They don't use it. And that's the unfortunate part. Like, he's a human being. Missed calls happen. It does happen. Where we're coming from is don't blame the player. It's not the player's fault. He did the right thing. And the technology is available to make sure that doesn't happen. So it's not like it's not an umpire criticism necessarily. He's a human being. Things happen. It was close. It does.
Yeah.
There's technology available to make sure that does not happen, and not using it is the most egregious part of all of this. You can get that right. So help them out and get it right.
Yeah. What about the first 2 strikes? What about them? I think he fouled one off, and he may have swung and missed. I don't remember the exact. Yeah, that's fine. But on the pitch that would have been ball 4, I mean, like, what about the first 2 strikes? What about him? You don't strike out on 2 strikes. You strike out on 3 strikes. That's like saying, what about those first 2 incompletions? Or the first 2 completions when you had an incomplete pass? Who cares? It's about that moment.
Fun game, though. Unfortunate end.
But. And I'm interested to talk to O'Connor, and I don't know how he's going to react after a loss, but that game felt like it could have been put in Omaha. That could have been a opening round College World Series game. 2 incredibly talented teams, incredibly talented rosters, great coaches, great moments, back and forth. And, at the end of the day, UCLA's top guy made a big play for them. And Mississippi State's guys at the moment of truth didn't. But at the same time, the game was taken away from them by a bad call.
Winners and losers. Since we're visiting with O'Connor tomorrow, we've got time. We don't have to split it up. What did you like from the weekend? What did you not like from the weekend? Send them in on the C Spire text line, 601-879-4395. Winners and losers after the news.
Back to Sports Talk Mississippi.
It doesn't get any better than this.
On Super Talk Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi here with you on a Monday afternoon. Brian Hadad and Michael Borkey. We are in the Pearl River Resort Studios. What's up on Sports Talk Mississippi is brought to you by Ag Up. You can own the John Deere compact tractor you've always wanted now with 0% financing at Ag Up. Whether you're trading in, upgrading your land, or a new landowner needing equipment, your down-home team will get you the right machines at the right price. Now with 0% financing on all 1 through 4 series machines. Stop by your local Ag Up or visit them at agup.com. Your down-home dealer. Offer ends April 30th, 2026. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. It's Monday. It's 4 o'clock. You know what's up. It's winners and losers.
All I do is win, no matter what. I'm a loser, baby. We got winners. We got losers.
Americans love a winner and will not tolerate a loser.
Winner never win.
What'd you like from the weekend? What did you not like? Let us know on the C Spire text line, 601-879-4395. Master Michael Borkey.
All right, here's an interesting one for
Jack
you.
of all trades. Go ahead.
The Northwestern State Lady Demons softball. They won a game over Missouri State 5-3. Okay?
Sounds good.
Improved their record to 7-13. So the Lady Demons off to a bit of a rough start, but they got a big win over the weekend. Mm-hmm. Again, they won 5-3, and they were no hit. They were no hit. Missouri State threw a no-hitter and lost 5-3. All of the damage was done in the first inning, in the bottom of the first for Northwestern State. Here's how they scored all 5 runs.
Tell me.
Walk, 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 hit by pitch. Fielder's choice out at home. Walk, RBI, obviously. Another walk, RBI, obviously. Score is 3-0. Fielder's choice, throwing error, 2 runs, score.
Oh, no.
Foul out, fly out, 5 runs in the bottom of the first on walks, hit by pitch, and error only. And the Demons held on after being no hit to a 5-3 win.
I don't know. I don't know who Missouri State's coach is, but I guarantee they have no hair today. They pulled it all out in that inning.
Could you imagine?
That's a rough one there.
Yeah, that's a funny one though.
So there you go. For me, even with the loss on Sunday, Mississippi State proved that all of this preseason hype, as it was very much warranted. This is a really, really good baseball team. They are tough to get out 1 through 9. They have plenty of depth in the pitching position. I know Ben Davis let one get away from him on Sunday night, but they have guys who throw strikes and can get outs. They're well coached. They don't make a lot of defensive errors. They do have some issues on the base paths. There's no question about that. That's something I'm going to ask Coach O'Connor about when I get a chance to talk to him. But we all off season long it was like, this team's going to be in the top 5. Is that warranted? It absolutely is. This is easily a top 5 baseball team in college baseball this season. What else you got?
Wide receivers in the state of Mississippi, 2 in particular. Unfortunately, Trey Wallace slipped a little bit on his 40. Still ran a 4.54, I think was his official time, and he slipped out of the gate. But Brendan Thompson and Dejon Stribling both made money over the weekend. You knew Thompson was going to fly. You knew he was, but you still got to go do it, right? And his size is going to be a question, and that's going to be what prevents him from being like a first-round pick in the draft. But a 4.26 at the Combine is a 4.26 at the Combine, and money was made for him over the weekend. It still has got to be so frustrating for State fans when they show his highlights, how many times he gets past the defense. And there was one point, I forget the analyst was like, how do you overthrow that guy? How can you possibly do that? But yeah, he made a lot of money, and the undrafted streak for state wide receivers going to end after he ran a 4.26 at the Combine. And then Dejon Stribling at 6'2", 207 was his official height and weight at the Combine. He ran a 4.36. He ran a 4.36 at the Combine at his size, so he made money this weekend as well. I'm still surprised he's not getting the buzz that some of the other receivers are getting, considering his size and what he put on tape against the best teams that he played this season. But, the 2 wide receivers, burners, and both of them made money after their trip to Indianapolis this weekend.
Also, former Mississippi State receiver, LSU receiver now, Xavion Thomas did the same. He ran a 4.28 down there. So just a lot of speed. And you're right, Thompson will end Mississippi State's streak this year. 30 years is long enough, I think. We can get a Mississippi State receiver back into the NFL.
Yes.
I will transition from that into a loser, and that's Adam Schefter, who tweeted out basically that Ohio State receiver Carnell Tate, who's a great receiver, fantastic college football wide receiver, ran a 4.56 laser time. Everybody's timing on these things is the same. It's a very detail-oriented process, so there are no mistakes. And Schefter tweets out, some NFL GMs clocked him at 4.46, 4.47. Who cares? Basically what happened is this. Schefter got a text from whoever Carnell Tate's agent is. I'll just guess the name on that one. And he decided to put that out to try to help his agent friend out. Because he didn't do it for anybody else. Like, what do those same GMs give Brendan Thompson? 4.18? What do they give him? Who cares what the guys in the stands who are way away from the action and are relying on human, resources to hit the button? Guys, I've gone to a pro day and I've tried to time, and some I get close, but some I don't, because I'll see the official times later. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Everybody's time is done the exact same way. Whatever your time is your time.
It's laser timed.
Schefter's trying to score points with his agent, but there's just too much of this right now with the agents providing the sources to these reporters, and they're just putting out whatever they tell them to put out. It's just silliness. So Schefter, loser.
Yeah, they copy and paste whatever the agent says. The Atlanta Hawks are a loser. I don't know if you guys saw a promotion that they're about to do. They sold out, so maybe they're not a loser. They sold out tickets for their Magic City night. Magic City is a local establishment for adults, put it that way. They are selling merch, they are promoting it, and everything. They are having a night where they honor a local establishment that is apparently a famous one. Luke Cornett called it out and actually sent a letter basically asking them, he plays for the Spurs, by the way, and the Spurs are the team playing in Atlanta for this, essentially asking them, hey, guys, reconsider this. Please don't, because are you kidding me? Was kind of the tone of the letter. And, of course,
could you not?
Could you not? But see, there is no greater indication that the league is beyond saving with current leadership than that right there. Who are sports for? Ultimately, who are they for?
Entertainment
for families, right? All people,
think, yeah.
all people, all ages. That's who sports are for. And you are promoting a gentleman's club? If I were a Hawks fan, I would never go to another game. I wouldn't. If the Pelicans did that, I'm done. I will never take my son to a Pelicans game. Wouldn't do it. You have got to draw a line somewhere. You've got to draw a line somewhere. You're already letting players own stock into prediction markets. Now you're letting a club promote, or a team promote a club? Give me a break. I would be done, and they're losers for it. And the fact that the league has to approve these, and they did it, tells you all you need to know. There's a reason it's dying. That's why it's dying. It's gross to me.
Yeah.
You got another one?
I'm trying to think. San Francisco Giants undefeated. The Vitello era just off to an unbelievable start in spring training.
Yeah.
It's spring training. The Giants had the best record in spring training last year, and they finished 81-81. So maybe I don't know. I don't know how that's going to
start
work.
Losing games on purpose.
Yeah. Trying to think.
Auburn basketball.
Good job. First off, no, loser, Michael Borkey. Just take the text that I send you and just say,
get out of here.
Yeah, that's funny. I send a text that says, hey, this might be the first time I ever cheered for Ole Miss because I wanted them to beat Auburn because Ole Miss isn't going to the NCAA tournament, so what do I care? Auburn, I wanted out of the tournament. Ole Miss, so I was like, maybe the first time I ever cheered for them, y'all beating Auburn is funny. And Borkey hits me with the, I didn't play tonight.
I didn't.
Just
how's it Monster Jam?
Just say, yeah, thanks.
How's it Monster Jam?
Just say it. But that being said, Auburn, I mean, every day I think, how did they make Stephen Pearl the head coach on a permanent basis? How do you not let him have a trial run, make him the interim, and then you come back and reevaluate at the end of the year? Oh, I know how. I know how they did it. And Bruce Pearl out there trying to say that Miami of Ohio, the only undefeated team, doesn't belong in the NCAA tournament. But Auburn at 15-14 gets in. At some point, wins and losses have to matter. We'll get to more of your winners and losers on the C Spire text line when we come back.
Sports Talk Mississippi is brought to you by Covington County Hospital in Collins, where your health matters.
If it's sports in Mississippi, you'll hear about it here. Sports Talk Mississippi.
You like this show, huh?
Yeah!
Super Talk Mississippi.
You get that lip out there when you want to do the Jagger.
Real quick on the Auburn thing. It's not hindsight. That's the best part about this.
No.
It's not hindsight. The second it happened and it got announced that
like,
John Cohen was giving him a 6-year contract.
Yeah. I was like, okay, Pearl's out, and they'll make his son the interim, and then they'll do a search at the end of it. Because, here's my question. What power did Bruce Pearl have at that point? He's like, I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna retire. You've got to make my son, or what?
Or what?
The players aren't going to transfer out.
Yeah, it's a week before the season begins.
Yeah,
no.
Cohen just got completely run over there.
How do you let that happen, though? How do you let that happen?
And that's the thing. This is going to be his most talented team. He'll never have a team with more talent than what his dad left him. And
especially not after this.
They're 15-14. They have LSU, which they should win, and then they play Alabama. So
there's won 8 in a row.
They're going to probably be 16-15 going into the NCAA tournament.
If they make it, which they should not.
The SEC tournament, I'm sorry. The SEC tournament. And, I understand their analytics are really good. They've played an incredibly tough schedule, but at some point you have to win those games. It's not enough just to play them. And this is not the SEC from last year where it was just so dominant. I mean, this is just not a good team. It's incredible, by the way, that the worst Mississippi State basketball team of the last 6 years, maybe the last decade, and then this awful Ole Miss team both beat
10
Auburn
in a row before they go to Auburn and win.
And they go to Auburn and win, and Hubbard puts 46 on them and beats. Like, you just can't script some of this stuff.
No. I mean, look, schools promote from within, and it works, and it doesn't work all the time.
Yeah.
But at least, because
there is no scenario
that is like this one.
Well, and especially like the Kiffin Golding thing is a little different because Golding, if nothing else, his resume is good enough that you could say, okay, he could be a head coach, right?
Worked under Saban for 5 years, worked under Kiffin for 3.
Nothing on Stephen Pearl's resume. Stephen Pearl's resume and Pete Golding's resume do not compare.
Stephen Pearl's resume is worked for my dad. That's it. Yeah. That's literally his only college job.
There is no scenario where your coach retires a month before the season, and you don't just say, look, we're going to get through this season, have an interim, and go from there. And you know what it reminds me of? It's obviously kind of different because of the circumstances, but when Cohen became athletic director here at Mississippi State, it was, November of 2016? And I remember thinking, like, surely he'll just coach this last baseball season and then do a search at the end. And he didn't. And he rushed in and he brought in Cannizzaro and obviously didn't do his homework on that. And you see what happens there. And it's just like, why? Just what is Pearl going to do if you say, well, he can be the interim, and if he has a successful year, he can be part of the search? But we're not just giving him the job. What's Pearl going to do? Yeah,
that's the million-dollar question.
So I have no idea what the thought process was there. But now they're probably, they'll give him another year. He'll be bad again next year, and then they'll have to fire him, and they'll owe him like $20 million.
This is the kind of decision that costs an AD a job, though, because remember, Freeze, that was a failure. And if Galesh struggles in year one and then your basketball team sucks again, you're out.
Well, but baseball's really good over at Auburn, though. Butch Thompson's got it going, man. That's a good program. Although they lost this week. Loser, by the way, let's go through this week, the midweek losses in the conference. LSU loses a midweek. Georgia loses a midweek. Arkansas lost 2 games this week. Ole Miss lost 2 games this week. Vanderbilt lost 2 games this week. Auburn lost a game this week. A lot of your ranked teams taking losses. That said, Florida, I think, did Florida sweep? I know they won the first 2 games.
The third got canceled.
Okay, so they technically did sweep. Good weekend for the Gators, but man, the conference. And I wanted to talk about this a little bit. The D1 baseball poll coming out this week. I was shocked at the lack of movement in it. When you look at the D1 baseball poll,
Arkansas is at 6.
Well, yeah. So the top 6 stayed the same, despite the fact that UCLA lost a midweek game, LSU lost a midweek game, and I'm not saying Mississippi State should be ranked ahead of either one of those. I thought Texas would go to number 1. Georgia Tech lost a midweek game; they're still 5th. Arkansas lost twice this week and didn't move.
That makes no sense. I'm sorry.
Auburn loses on a Friday; they don't move. Tennessee lost this week. Lost a game this week. It didn't really move. Southern Mississippi moving up to 10th, that makes a lot of sense. Ole Miss dropping out, it makes sense. Yeah. They had a rough weekend. But I can't get over the fact that Arkansas is still 6th with a loss to Arkansas State and a loss to UT Arlington this week. It's crazy.
Absolutely nuts. And then I saw one of the D1 guys say, well, they did win their weekend series, but what else happened? And who was it to? If you're
they were 2-2 this week.
Yeah.
That's gotta ding you. I'm not saying to drop them out. I'm not saying to make them 20th, but they could be 9th.
Yeah, they could move down a little.
Florida took 2 games from a top 25 team. Why are they not ranked ahead of Arkansas? Right now, who's had a better season, Florida or Arkansas? I don't know.
Makes no sense. Somebody says, loser, anyone who paid for Flow Sports when 2 of the games were live streamed on YouTube. What about the third?
Yeah, I mean,
Andy says, winner, baseball fans.
I'm sorry I didn't want to break the law and watch an illegal stream. That's my bad.
Andy says, winner, baseball fans saw 15,000 watching the state UCLA game on stream. Could have been more. That's just what I noticed. So that was just YouTube only, right? Because Flow Sports does not display
I'm sure,
active users.
Yeah.
What's the latest on Baker Mazzara? So the veteran in every way, every denotation of the word veteran has left the Southern Cal program at the ripe old age of 26.
Apparently refused to play the second half this week against Nebraska. That's what they're saying.
Boy, the NBA, who you're not good enough to play in anyway, is going to love that.
Yeah. Get ready to learn LinkedIn, buddy. Now, that being said, and somebody, I think this person on the text line may have been alluding to it, and I had somebody in my mentions talk about it. There is a viral fake tweet going around that apparently his birth certificate was falsified. He's actually 32 with 4 kids. Again, fake tweet. Guys, we have to be smarter than this, all right? When somebody tweets something and you look at their Twitter bio and the first thing says everything I do is satire, that's not real news. So we'll let y'all know that.
Winner, this Cardinals ticket package. And here's what it is. The Cardinals have tickets that start at $29 each and include unlimited concessions. And here's what comes in under the unlimited category. Fountain drinks, hot dogs, chicken fingers, bratwurst, nachos and cheese, French fries, popcorn, peanuts, kettle chips, and cups of ice cream. So you can get any of that included with your $29 ticket to go to a Cardinals game. That is amazing. And part of that is because the Cardinals aren't good anymore and they're not getting people to show up to games. But that's amazing. And the Falcons have already proven it. When you dramatically reduce concession prices, fans will spend more at your concession stands. It's just economics at this point. At the Superdome on Saturday for Monster Jam, I mean, $12 for the off-brand, not even real Dippin' Dots, the off-brand Dippin' Dots that was this big for $12. And the thing that tripped me out the most, the bottomless souvenir soda cup, right? Yeah. $12. Where they fill it up with ice, you go get whatever soda you want. Yeah. There's no water in the soda fountains. I was like, can I get the unlimited drink cup and fill it up with water? They're like, no, there's not water over there. You have to buy these bottles. And it's a Dasani bottle for $6.50.
Yeah, I mean, they got you on that one.
But, I wanted to be more economical for you.
And you wanted to be healthier.
Yes.
But you don't get to have those choices at Monster Jam. By the way, winner, apparently, dark meat chicken tenders.
Dude. We went to Mahoney's.
I told you to go to Mahoney's, by the way.
After the zoo. And it was a beautiful day. The vibe in Uptown New Orleans is amazing. It was 74 degrees, and people are just walking around happy. Everybody we encountered was just having a great day. But I got a po' boy. He got chicken tenders, obviously, because he's a 6-year-old.
Did you get a Peacemaker? Please tell me that's what you got.
I did not get the Peacemaker. I did not. It looked good, though.
It's so good.
I actually got the Cuban, and I loved it. Okay. I was in the mood for it. I loved it.
That's a good choice.
But the chicken tenders were not the tenderloin from a chicken.
Yeah.
It was chicken thighs sliced into strips.
Dark meat is better. It's just better.
They were so much better.
Did James say anything? Because kids can be picky, and they're like, this isn't the normal chicken.
Oh, he liked it.
Good.
He didn't react the same way I did, though. I was mind blown.
Yeah.
Oh, and they just pulled right apart.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they were perfect. But why is that not?
Why do we not normalize that?
It was amazing.
That should be the standard.
It should be the standard.
Chicken nuggets should be dark meat. I agree.
Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll keep reading off your winners and losers when we come back.
From the Seabrook.com.
What we're going to do right here is go back.
And now back to the sports. This is Sports Talk Mississippi.
So let's get rolling.
On Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. Michael Borkey, Brian Hadad with you. Just a reminder, if you were looking forward to hearing from Brian O'Connor, he will join us tomorrow. They had some travel issues out of Dallas, and so they had to delay that interview one day. So Hadad will visit with him tomorrow, and we, of course, will have that for you.
I may visit with him this evening. I'm
nice.
not 100% sure yet.
Somebody, so we're wrapping up winners and losers here. Somebody says, I'd like to submit myself to the losers list for Ole Miss dropping 2 of 3 this week, and I knew when I cut my toenails it was going to mess us up. I don't know if that was it. I think it's other things. I think it's 0 for 18 with runners in scoring position. I think that is really what did them in, and then 5 errors also.
Way too early. I can't wait for the last weekend of the season. And Ole Miss makes an error and be like, it's still too early.
Also, winner all of the Australians that were in Vegas for the rugby league tournament they're doing out there. They seem to be having a great time. Oh, I imagine a bunch of Australians in Vegas are having a great time.
I would imagine so.
That seems like two cultures that...
So, you're going to have to give me some... I've heard about this. Shane Lowry, what happened here?
Oh, my gosh.
I love a good golf. I love a good 10-cup situation. What happened here?
So he has a 3-shot lead standing on the 16th tee.
Okay.
And the 16th hole, water all down the right side, but it's way right. Not a single ball went in the water all day. Nobody hit the ball in the water. It's way to the right. And it's a long par 4. For whatever reason, he's taking a 3-iron. And he just block flares it out to the right. I mean, one of the worst shots you've ever seen. And he was cruising all weekend until this point. I mean, just like swagger, confidence, whatever, and just flares it out to the right. It's like a field goal kicker missing an extra point, and it hits the corner of the end zone. Just ballooned it out to the right. Should have been hitting driver or 3-wood anyway. No reason to basically lay up in that spot regardless. But he hits it in the water. And because it was so far right, he had to essentially lay up, and he ended up doubling. 16.
Okay.
17 is a par 3, water front and water right. Does the exact same thing. It's just this block flare, just dead into the wind, into the water again. Double 17 loses the tournament.
Gross.
Just an epic collapse. I mean, just a complete choke job. And it was... In a weird way, I enjoyed watching it.
But apparently, afterwards, a lot of guys would walk away from the media. He went in there and talked.
A lot of them would. He, in the past, would have. Mm-hmm. He's got... In the past, he's kind of had an attitude problem. A little rough around the edges on the course. Has had a lot of hot mics where... he's blaming everybody but himself, blames the course for poor play, stuff like that. Not yesterday. Afterwards, he stepped up to the mic and was like, the thing that is hardest the most for me right now is I wanted to win for my 4-year-old daughter. He's like, I wanted the moment where her little ginger head would run onto the green and give me a big hug because I haven't won since she's been alive. And that's what I was thinking about. I was looking forward to that moment, and I stopped myself from having that moment.
Then you blew it!
Which was a very humanizing, very good quote. Yeah. But, just 2 block slices, basically, into the water on 16 and 17. It was horrible.
Yeah. All right, so I'm not seeing it from Mississippi State just yet, but the Clarion Ledger's Sam Sklar has reported that Brendan Sweeney will start for Mississippi State against Southern Mississippi. That's an interesting move. Guy who's pitched a lot of big games, played at South Carolina, has pitched in some big environments, so maybe that's why they wanted to go with him. He's pitched in some hostile environments before, including Dudy Noble Field when he was at South Carolina. Pitched really well there. Yeah. So, haven't seen that from Mississippi State yet, but that's what's being reported by the Clarion Ledger.
Somebody says John Cohen's a sleeper agent sabotaging Auburn as payback for Cam Newton.
It only took us 15 years. Finally. Revenge is sweet, sir.
Oh, man.
They say it's best served cold, so. Be hilarious if when he retires, he gets fired, he rips off his shirt and he's wearing a Mississippi State. Yeah. Maroon is all that matters. Shirt is underneath there.
Somebody says, did y'all see where high school students are using AI to make their tape look better?
Yeah.
It is so funny. It's so bad. And like every
really
pass
bad.
is a million miles in the air.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Like if any coach signs a guy off of AI highlights, you got exactly what you deserved in that situation. They didn't like actually ask for the tape, and they're just like, let me see your highlights, and they send them this. That's on you.
Tyler Reddick, first driver to win 3 races in NASCAR. First 3 races in NASCAR history.
Yeah, that's the Jordan team, right?
That is the Jordan team.
All right. Wonder what's the secret there? I don't know.
Keith says, yeah, I can't wait for concessions at the Superdome when we go to the Savannah Bananas game in 2 weeks. Oh, gosh.
I mean, and the Bananas, that's a premium event. They're probably going to be premium prices, my friend.
Yeah, and so...
A friend of mine went to see them in Tallahassee this past weekend, and she was thrilled. She thought it was great.
Filled the stadium.
Yeah.
And
she went to the baseball stadium one, didn't go to the football stadium, I believe.
Well, the Superdome only opened about half of the concessions because there was. They said 35,000 went to Monster Jam. That's about right.
Yeah.
But only about half the concession stands were open. So, I mean, one Michelob Ultra, $16. It's just it's an absurdity. Gail Benson is committing highway robbery every event that happens in the Superdome. It's unbelievable. I mean, we walked away. I spent $100 in the Superdome.
Yeah, easily. I would imagine
on concessions, and we didn't like splurge.
Yeah,
nachos, Dippin' Dots, a couple of waters. I mean, just add it up quick. Man.
It's just one of those things when you go to a sporting event now. I mean, you know, you're probably paying more for the food than you paid to get into the game because you can find cheap tickets out there to most sporting events, but once you get in, there's no negotiating with the concession people.
Somebody says, loser Metallica fans for the Vegas Sphere tickets today had approximately 280,000, not exaggerating, in front of me for the queue for the October 3rd show that went to their fan club sale at 1 o'clock today, and 298,000 for the 3 o'clock pre-sale Halloween show.
Doesn't sound like Metallica are the losers there. The fans might be, but Metallica, they're going to sell that bad boy out.
How many of those are...
Oh, yes.
bots?
You know that some are. You know that some are, for sure.
Loser Makai Lemon, that is all, apparently had a horrendous... Not just the interviews. So the reporting about bad interviews last year was heavily scrutinized until the reporting proved accurate with Shedeur Sanders. There's a reason he dropped. Mm-hmm. And it's clearly... At the Combine, interviews are incredibly important because they put you on the whiteboard. They test how much you know, what kind of teammate you are. Because in the NFL, Makai Lemon's not special. Like, he's a great player, but he's not special. Right. So they got to figure out what kind of teammate you are, how smart you are. Mm-hmm. And apparently, reportedly, the interviews were horrendous. And then there's video of him not paying attention and listening to instructions during the drill portion.
Not good.
You got an NFL coach telling you exactly what to do here. This is what you need to do so we can evaluate you. And Hadad, his back is turned to the guy. He's messing around with the football.
Oh, well.
And that was a guy that was projected in the top 10. Some people thought the Saints were going to take him at 8. Not anymore.
Well, thank God for that.
It's not going to happen now.
The Saints are taking love. Love is all we need. All right? That's all
he was awesome this weekend,
That's right.
Too.
All we need is love. Yes.
He was awesome.
What else we got on the text line here?
Winner. Josh, you have to read Josh's because I don't understand the reference.
Winner, the very nice and very evil Danhausen. I will get very nice, very evil. Thank you, Borkey.
Somebody says, I learned this, and I've been going to games for many years, that you can bring in 2 bottles of unopened water to all Ole Miss venues. How did I not know this? Love saving $6.50 per bottle of water.
That's a safety thing where they're like, we can't deny, especially the hot games, you can't deny people water based on the fact that they don't have money. So, yeah, you can bring in a couple. And then, you know, I don't know if you trust the sinks, but you can always refill them. I don't know if there's a water fountain involved.
They have water stations,
They got to have something, So, there you go.
I did. It was nice being in the house that Tyler Shuck built, though. That was...
We're going to be back there next year to watch some playoff football, by God.
That's exactly right.
So, you know why? Because all we need is love. Love is all we need.
I am fairly certain, by the way, I sat in front of a Saint or some professional football player. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to ask him. He was with wife or girlfriend and a very young daughter who was precious.
Yes.
She kept staring at James, and they loved it. But
that's why you tell James, like, hey, go down there and ask if he can get a picture with you.
But I didn't know for sure. And I know the roster really well, and I went to the bathroom and kind of looked it up and couldn't pinpoint him. But you know how you know this guy is a...
They have aura.
Yeah, he was one of those guys. So I don't know if he was a Saint or maybe played at LSU, but very clearly a football player, like a defensive lineman, very clearly, not just a big guy, but like, oh, this guy...
Wasn't Brees?
No, it wasn't him.
Okay. Oh, I get it. I get it. I understand what you're saying.
We'll be right back. Sports Talk Mississippi.
From the Venable Glass.
Communication system is a go. Go! This is Sports Talk Mississippi, right here on Super Talk Mississippi.
Exactly.
Wrapping up winners and losers with you. Sports Talk Mississippi on this Monday. Mike Bianco will join us at 5:20 to recap the weekend. An unsuccessful one in Houston. They got the win over Ohio State, but fell to Baylor and Coastal Carolina. So we'll talk about that with him. Loser, the umpire for the state game yesterday.
Yes.
Winner, Ole Miss pitching 20 strikeouts Friday night against Baylor. Loser, still losing the game. That's a tough stat.
Yeah.
Losing on a night where you struck out your opponent 20 times, that's
a tough one for sure.
That is a tough one. Extra winner Demolition for being announced today as the latest entrant to the WWE Hall of Fame.
I'll send you $100 right now without Googling if you can name the two members of Demolition.
Oh, there's no shot.
Okay. Just wanted to see
0% chance.
All right. You want to throw a name out? Anything?
None.
Okay.
Couldn't even.
Okay.
Who are they?
Axe and Smash.
Man, Demolition. I probably could have gotten to Smash.
That's what I'm saying. You could have just thrown out like a couple of names and been close. Yeah.
Michael Mustel says, loser Mendoza for not throwing at the Combine. I see both sides of it.
I mean, he's going to be the first pick. There's no point in doing anything dumb.
Yeah, the only thing that Mendoza could have done at the Combine is lower his stock. Could not have improved it at all. He's going number one overall.
Yeah.
But if he'd have had a horrendous throwing day for whatever reason, then he's still going number one overall. But the only thing that he could have done is taken a step backwards.
Right.
At the Pro Day, it's his guys, it's his venue. He'll do it just because I bet the Raiders are going to ask him to do it.
Yeah, probably so.
But I hear you, though.
And he'll be fine there, but... Yeah, I get it. I absolutely get it. You know, same with thing. You know, I doubt Brennan Thompson will run at his pro day. Why would he?
Yeah,
why would you do anything like that?
Stribling should not run at his pro day either.
Go with what you got there. So it's a two-sided coin for sure.
It is a growing trend, though. Some more and more fringe players are opting out of doing workouts at the Combine and just doing it at their pro day.
Did you say fringe?
Fringe prospects.
Yeah, I thought you said French.
No, fringe. Fringe prospects.
Like the
guys
French?
that are not guaranteed first-round picks. Fringe prospects.
Qu'est-ce que c'est le vertical leap?
Are there any Frenchmen in the NFL?
There has to be, right?
Gotta be.
I mean, they're not Frenchmen as much as, just of French descent.
They're playing games over there.
Yeah, they got to be. I'm sure there's somebody from Louisiana that has some French descent there.
There's got to be.
Yeah.
But like true French player, like from France.
You had the Hebert. You had Bobby Hebert for a long time.
But he's not
from France. No. I don't think there's a whole lot. How many international players are there in the NFL?
Not that many. The French in particular, I mean, you don't.
Let's see here. There are currently, That can't be right.
What is AI telling you?
It's something like the all-time sack leader from Georgia is French. There's no way.
No.
He is, though. Apparently he is.
He's from France.
He's from France. His name is Richard. This feels, I've got to be honest with you, this feels fake. Like, this entire thing feels fake. Because his name sounds like it could be like a slur. So I'm not going to say it.
You think AI is trying to get you?
I think so. There's a bunch of links and stuff, but I just don't. I don't know.
Either way. So Daquan Wright only interviewed and measured. He did not go through drills. I don't know why. Maybe he's still recovering from that injury. I don't know. But the guys that I think we were paying the most attention to overall were Diego Pounds went through workouts yesterday too. He at his size ran a 5'1" 40. It's unbelievable how athletic these guys are. And it goes to show you, by the way, at his size, that he is faster than 99.9% of men in this country at his size.
Yes.
It's unbelievable. But the guys that I think we were watching for the most were the wide receivers, Brendan Thompson and then Wallace and Stribling. And, again, Wallace slipped a little. His pro day 40, I think, is going to be better. But
do you think he'll run again?
I think he needs to.
Okay.
But we'll see. Either way, those two guys did very well, and you love to see it. You knew that they were burners like that, and they had speed and all that, but to go out there and actually do it is a different thing.
We had two different people. One texted me, and one on the text line said, you sounded like you said French.
Well, I said fringe.
Vive la France!
I did spend the weekend in New Orleans.
That's right. That's on. Yeah, see, you've got it on the brain. So, Yeah,
immaculate weather. Spring in the South is just
instead of the 40-yard dash, it's how many croissants can you eat in 40 seconds?
Josh Heupel, Tennessee's head coach, is advocating for something, and I got a good laugh out of it today. It's unbelievably transparent why he's asking for this. We'll tell you about it when we come back. This is Sports Talk Mississippi from the Pearl River Resort Studio, your college football fix, and then Mike Bianco coming up after the news. Stick with us.
Your Mississippi. Sports Talk Mississippi.
Do you ever get so excited that you just can't wait?
Yes. Sports Talk Mississippi. Covering your Mississippi teams.
I've been waiting my whole life for this.
Don't touch that dial. Here on Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome in, Hour 3, Sports Talk Mississippi. Just a couple of weeks away from spring practice getting up and started here.
That's a true story.
But I want to bring to you some quotes from Josh Heupel, head coach of Tennessee. He gave them to Chris Lowe, and Lowe added a little extra, too. Apparently, coaches around the SEC want to change. Let me tell you about it for the College Football Fix.
The College Football Fix is driven by your Mississippi Ford dealers. Built Ford Tough. That's what the best-selling truck in America is. And if you're looking for a new truck right now, why would you waste a second of your time looking at anything but the best? Make it easy on yourself. Head to your Mississippi Ford dealers today. Check out the Ford F-150. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
In an otherwise really good interview, Josh Heupel had a conversation with Chris Lowe, and he said this about the playoff format negotiations.
What did he say?
Quote, the way college football is constantly changing, that a 24-team playoff probably makes the most sense.
Ugh.
You know why. You know why he's saying that.
Because it's very easy for Tennessee to finish in the top 25 year after year. Like, it's tough to finish in the top 12. Almost impossible in the top 4. But top 24 teams in the country, Tennessee can get there every year without trying too hard, and every coach is going to make the playoff, get $100,000, get $200,000.
And keep their jobs.
Yeah. How are you going to fire your coach when he got you to the playoff? That's what they're going to say.
And Chris continued, as a follow-up to my sit-down with Josh Heupel, he won't be alone among SEC coaches, publicly or privately, preferring a 24-team playoff, especially going to 9 league games. Keep in mind that he's already led Tennessee to a playoff appearance in the current 12-team format. Yeah, how'd that go? Did that count?
Well, they did go to the playoff.
Did they appear in the playoff? Or?
They were in the playoff. They were in.
Can you call that an appearance, though?
Well, what else are you going to call it? It's an appearance, yes.
And a disappearance almost right away in Ohio Stadium. But, no, I mean, here's the thing. As we've talked about many times, 24 doesn't make any sense. Because look at the college basketball tournament. We love March Madness, right? We love it. Mm-hmm. Look at the teams on the bubble. Look at the last 4 in and the first 4 out on the bubble. It's awful. Bad teams are going to make the tournament. And Cinderella doesn't come from the bubble, by the way. It comes from whoever wins this small conference championships. Good teams that play well all season in lesser conferences that go beat whoever. But Auburn at 16 and what would they be, 16 and 15?
Yeah.
Getting in is not a quality tournament. They don't belong, all that.
Right.
Expanding to 24 would not create that, but it would get much closer to that than what we currently have. And nobody really wants it.
Right.
I interact with college football fans every day. We interact with you guys on the text line. I see commentary about it. Nobody wants it. Not really. Why do the coaches want it now? Because with their massive salaries, they have playoff or you're a failure expectations, and the SEC went to 9 league games, keeping the Power 4 requirement. Only in the SEC are you required to play 10 Power 4 games in a season, and they did that to themselves. If you didn't want the playoff or bust expectations paired with the difficult schedule, you should have blocked the schedule. Nobody made the SEC expand the playoff. That's why this is happening, though. That's why there's a push for it. So you're going to get something that nobody's asking for because the coaches are afraid for their jobs now, and the SEC won't admit they made a mistake. Just like when the NCAA expands the basketball tournament, something nobody's asking for, you're just going to water down the product. College football's regular season has not been ruined yet. It's still, like, the games still matter. Yes, you can suffer a loss and still make the playoff, but the 12-team playoff has shown that there are more than 4 championship-caliber teams. Because that was the argument, remember, is,
right.
Well, we don't need more than 4 because there's only 2 or 3 teams that can actually win the championship anyway. False. We learned that. Last 2 years prove that. 24 does not preserve that same phenomenon. And so now that we're learning that the SEC is going to start talking about 24 this offseason, or at least the coaches, you guys are going to get something that you're not asking for. And the regular season that got enhanced by going to 9 conference games is just going to be diminished again once they go to a 24-team playoff. Tide rises, tide goes out.
Yeah. You got Chase in here saying, and look, Chase, you're making some good points. Don't get me wrong. It's like, you got a better opportunity of Tulane beating Baylor than Nevada beating Ohio State. It's true. And he says, talking about the regular season, Alabama beat Georgia, and it was literally irrelevant. It was. At the end of the day. Because, I don't know, is it? Yeah, I guess it was. Because both of those teams made the playoffs. It wouldn't have been irrelevant if Alabama had lost another, or Georgia had lost another game in the regular season, maybe. I don't know. I get where both sides come from on this. I am always try to err on the side of I want better football. But do I want it in the regular season or in the playoff? Because we talked about the other day when we had that 2014 playoff bracket. I was like, it would be incredible.
But right now you have both, though.
I feel like right now I have the good happy medium.
Because the regular season games, they do matter. Mm-hmm. They do impact things still. For more teams. Now, you do have an Alabama-Georgia situation where both of them still made the playoff despite the result in the regular season, but more teams had their games matter more. Miami's games mattered. Ole Miss's games mattered. They didn't win the SEC. They didn't go to the SEC championship, but their games mattered. Oklahoma's games mattered. They didn't go to the SEC or the SEC championship. Tulane's games mattered. James Madison's games mattered. Michigan's mattered. There's a lot more. I think the slippery slope argument is one that I don't agree with either, because you can draw a line. You can stop it. Well, once you open the door, everybody's got to come in. No, they don't. You draw a line right here. Boom. This is where we stop. We stop at 12, or we stop at 16. You can put your foot down eventually. That's why we have speed limit laws. Yeah, here's too fast. We've decided that this speed on this road is too fast. And if you drive above that, you get punished for it. I don't know. I don't agree with the slippery slope thing. You can put your foot down. The problem is the SEC got stuffed in a locker, and now they got to consider taking their foot off. That's the problem here.
Chase says, you made games matter by making other games not. Indiana-Oregon was absolutely pointless. You didn't accomplish anything. You took money from the light bill to pay the water bill. I mean, I get where he's coming from on that.
Indiana-Oregon was massive, though. Did you watch that game and come away thinking, that was boring?
No, it's not that. He's not talking about that.
Or that didn't matter?
Not talking about the quality of the football that was played. He's talking about, at the end of the day, Oregon got beat up on its own field by Indiana, and then got to go play them again in the playoff. So that game, it didn't matter. The regular season game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get what he's saying. I don't agree. I get what he's saying.
I get what he's saying, too. But how many more games added stakes? You're not moving the money around. You've increased the amount that you have to pay your aforementioned bills. I mean, unless you're a fan of just a few games a year. I don't know. Lucas says 24 is the perfect number for FCS and below. It could work, keep conference championship weekend, but make it whereas the teams in the conference bubble, 4 teams for 2 spots. They've considered that. They have talked about it. Without a doubt. Behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Georgia Ole Miss was the same, but opposite of Indiana, Oregon. But, okay, so that game happened. That game happened. And then they got to play each other again, and Ole Miss got revenge, which, by the way, was awesome. They played a great game in the regular season, and then the game they played in the playoff was awesome.
Yeah.
That eliminated Ole Miss's margin for error. They had to go to Norman the next week.
Do we have to look at it in terms of maybe the game loses some meaning, but the quality of the game makes up for that?
Yeah.
Like you got 2 awesome games out of Ole Miss and Georgia.
It was incredible.
You didn't get 2 awesome games out of Indiana, Oregon.
No.
That didn't happen because Indiana was just better than them. But, I mean, I don't have a problem getting some rematches here and there when I'm going to get good football games.
Everybody loved the concept of a rematch in the BCS era when Alabama and LSU played again.
That game was a stinker.
And it stunk, but
yeah,
you get rematches in the NFL playoffs all the time. It's a interesting conversation. I don't think the regular season has been ruined at this point.
Right.
There's still stakes. There's still meaning. The more you expand the playoff, the less that will remain true. But I think eventually the SEC coaches are going to get their way. We'll see. Mike Bianco next.
From the Venable Glen.
I listen to it at work.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Sports Talk Mississippi. On Super Talk Mississippi.
Did you get that memo?
Yes, sir.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. We go to the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau. Our weekly chat with Ole Miss head coach Mike Bianco. right now. And Coach, let's start here, actually, with something that your team had to deal with over the weekend in Houston, the runner on second and extra innings thing. So you had to deal with it, obviously, on Friday.
Wow, that's how we're going to start. Okay,
yeah,
good.
I'm curious your thoughts on that concept. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Do you want to see that in your game? What was that all about?
They do that obviously for just for speed of the games. You got 3 games going on during the day, and to try to stay on pace and whatnot. And that's something that happens in tournaments. I think it became more popular, and I think that it's a big league rule. If I'm not mistaken, it was in COVID, but I think the big leaguers, Major League Baseball, adopted it. So during the regular season, I'm pretty sure they use that now. We have the option to use it throughout the season. We don't use it in Southeastern Conference play, I'm not sure. Since COVID, I'm not sure, if we use that at all, meaning the teams have options, and I don't know if anybody said, yeah, hey, let's do that. So, we're not fans of it, but sometimes you have to do those types of things.
Hunter Elliott, early struggles in the top of the first on Friday, and then he settled in and struck out 11. What was your takeaway from your Aces day?
Well, exactly what you just said. He struggled in the first, but after that, I don't know if you can pitch much better than he did, and really from the second inning to 1 out left, 2 outs into the 8th, I mean, we were about as dominant on the mound with Elliott through 5, and then, Calhoun, and then it just got away from us, in, the midst of 3 hitters. I mean, it looked like, we were in really good shape, and with 2 outs in the 8th, and Calhoun, walked a hitter, gave up a base hit, and, he's one of our best arms, and, wanted to see if he could get through it, and obviously, you got to credit them, big home run, and, to put them ahead, we fight back, tie it back up, and go to extra innings, thus the tiebreaker rule.
And on that home run that Calhoun gave up, I mean, from my vantage point, and I'm certainly no expert, it looked like he put a great pitch on it. It just a guy made a great play, hit a home run.
No, you're exactly right. We talked about that this morning, Coach Mangrum and I, and so obviously, in game you don't really know, and you can ask the catcher, you ask the pitcher, and sometimes difference of opinions. Hey, no, I got it up. Hey, no, I got too much of the plate. No, it was a good pitch, but video tells you the most, and of course, the data and the analytics, and no, it was where we wanted to throw it, and usually a guy that doesn't swing a lot first pitch, swung, and sometimes that happens to you. So, the bigger thing, I think, when you look at it, not the home run, but, to be going that strongly, and then, the walk. I think that's the one. If Hudson, was, looking back at it, I think the disappointing thing, more than the home run was, hey, I let it get away from me. I didn't have to do that. I could have, really attacked that 3-hole hitter and maybe gotten off the field without any damage.
And then to the heartbreaker in Game 1, and then a great bounce back in Game 2, especially on the mound. I mean, Townsend and Rabe, 16 strikeouts between the two of them, scattered 6 hits, didn't give up a run.
No, you're exactly right. And again, it's hard to, look at the Game 1 and say we pitched well, but we pitched it pretty darn good, and, sometimes, they pitch it good too, and they beat you. I mean, we struck out 20, in Game 1. And, so we bounced back in Game 2, and you're right, pitch a shutout. And, as they told me a long time ago, if they don't score, you don't lose. And so, if you want to bounce back after a Friday night loss, pitch it like Cade and Rabe did. And you're right, they were both, I thought super dominant. And then we were able to, 2 home runs by Decker, put a big inning, a big, grand slam by Mosley late to kind of get, some, an extension to the lead. So, it was a nice bounce back by us.
And then the loss in Game 3. I'm curious, Coach, defensive baseball. 16 errors on the season so far, a bit of a struggle in the field. What can you do as a coaching staff to help improve the way your team defends?
It's a great question, and I think if you ask 10 people, you get 10 different answers. But the truth is, and I may have said this, in other questions that come up, if you, especially, I think it's if you just look at Sunday's game in the whole, 3 errors. But they're just really what I call dumb errors. I mean, they're not fielding the ball where you can't catch it or throw it. It's a bunt that, really was a perfectly laid down bunt. And because of the emotion of the game, the fielder, the catcher in this, instance, throws the ball and has no play, but throws it anyway. And, goes down the right field line and, 2-run score, and where we should have just ate it and tip your cap. And, it was a good play by them on a sacrifice bunt that turned into basically a drag bunt for a base hit, and, live for another day. And hopefully you can get a double play ball or punch a guy out. Another one was, another bunt where, Foley kind of short hopped Fern and he caught it, but they said he was juggling the ball. And so that goes in as an error. And then, relay throw coming in, from the outfield that actually, hits off the runner's foot and, goes past and, in advance. So again, all errors, there's no excuses. We have to be cleaner. But it's not like, hey, we're not, catching the ball and throwing the ball to first base. There's been a lot of those pick off attempt, throw it away type of errors, which, again, not great, but what it is letting them get an extra 90 feet without doing anything and not getting it out in between. And so we have to be better at it.
What was something that, aside from that you took away from the weekend, maybe on the positive side of your team? I know nobody, especially in your position, likes to lose 2 games out of 3, but is there anything that you liked about your team this weekend?
You're right. It's a bitter taste in your mouth when you walk away, losing 2 out of 3, and especially since you haven't lost this year. But the thing is, we were in position to win, on Friday night. We just didn't, and I think, if we do that more times than not, we're going to win the game. And so as disappointing as it was, I thought, overall we didn't play poorly. We just, at the end of the day, they beat us. I like the way we bounced back. Really disappointed in Sunday, Sunday in a sense that we really just didn't do much to win the baseball game. I thought Libert got off to a great start, but it was one of those where we weren't doing much offensively, and we really needed a great effort, like some of the other starters that gave us the 2 previous games. And then when it came crunch time in the middle, he wasn't able to handle it. And as you said, we weren't clean enough in the field. We didn't score enough runs. But again, it's early. We didn't have a good weekend. And so to me, the big test is what do you do this week, and what do you do on tomorrow night.
You got 5 games before not only conference play, but also a big matchup with a really good Southern Miss team coming up. How much more evaluating in your lineup or everyday players are you doing over the next 5 days? Are you still tinkering? Are guys still battling for a more regular spot? What's that approach like for you guys over the next 5 games?
I think the simplest answer is we're always looking, right? We're always, that's one of the things we talked about in our staff meeting today is it's a long season, and I say that because there's guys that are playing well now that won't be playing great in a month. There's, guys that aren't playing well now that in 3 weeks will be, significant parts at that time. And there's always that tinkering, if you will. I think that's part of what we do is, figure out where you need some help, and, who can help and who can provide that help immediately on the mound, in the field, at the plate, and so on. So that was, the answer. And so that means over the next 5 games, we'll continue to play some different people. We'll continue to look and tinker a little bit, again, using your term, with the bullpen to decide, who do you want to have the ball when the game's on the line? And to me, that's you want to put yourself as a coach, you want to put your team in the best position to win, and the only way to do that is to try some different things.
Coach, excellent stuff as always. We really appreciate your time on these Mondays. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you again next week.
All right. Thank you.
That's Ole Miss head baseball coach Mike Bianco on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau.
Well, it's a little early
Be talking about defense. That's just my personal opinion. I'm surprised he didn't tell you the same, to be totally honest with you. I would have. I've been like, Michael, way too early.
Patrick Toney leaves, and look at what happens. Everything falls apart, you know?
Does Ole Miss's defensive woes on the diamond translate to Pete Golding being a bust?
Chuck Oliver asked me earlier today. He was like, so what is Ole Miss losing in Patrick Toney? I said, a defensive coordinator that never gave up a touchdown, Chuck. I mean,
what do you want?
It's a huge loss there.
Yeah. Guy was great at his job.
Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll be right back.
From the Seabrook.
Can you feel it? Can you hear it? Sports Talk Mississippi. Yeah! On Super Talk Mississippi.
Johnny was a schoolboy when he heard his first Beatles.
If you missed any of our conversation today, met with Christian Ostrander in the first hour. Let me try that again. Met with Christian Ostrander in the first hour. There we go.
Christian Ostrander.
Yeah. I saw a few ostriches this weekend, kind of.
Yeah, it was on the brain.
Threw me for a loop. No, but we visited with him in the first hour, did winners and losers in the second. Just now wrapped up a conversation with Mike Bianco, and Brian O'Connor will join us tomorrow. If you miss any of this show,
allegedly.
Yeah. If you're just driving home from work and you miss something or you want to hear the whole show, wherever you get your podcasts, search Sports Talk Mississippi. Apple, now on Spotify. You have to resubscribe, though. If you were a Spotify listener, we're back on Spotify. You have to search and subscribe again. It didn't just pop back up. You got to start over. But we're there for you. Wherever you get your podcast, just search Sports Talk Mississippi and subscribe there. So, Mississippi State got 2 this weekend, Hadad. We watched the Arizona State game and recapped it on Friday, but 2 games since then. What did you take away from the weekend?
It's difficult not to have watched State played this weekend and not come away with the idea that this is one of the top teams in the country. Dominant performances on Friday and Saturday, and then went toe-to-toe with the best team in the country. And, never mind the final call there, had every opportunity to win that game and could have been the number 1 team in the nation today had they done so. The lineup, top to bottom, is just so good. I mean, when your 9th place hitter is hitting 450, I mean, Bryce Chance provides an incredible luxury to Mississippi State. Ryder Woodson starting to get things going at the plate. As O'Connor talked about it, his guy he had a lot of faith in. He started to show that, especially yesterday, had a huge game. Reed Stallman is a guy we didn't talk about hardly at all this offseason, but he may be State starting first baseman going forward. And, it's interesting to watch these things happen because good players are on the bench. If Stallman's out there, it means Blake Beavis is not playing. Beavis has been a great hitter for Mississippi State. If Jacob Parker is out there, it means that Vitas Valencius is not playing. Valencius is State's leading hitter, but Parker had a huge home run on Saturday, got the start, had the sack fly that gave State the lead there in the late in the game against UCLA. So, I mean, the depth is there in the lineup. The pitching looks good. They've got to figure out a closer situation. I think Ben Davis, look, not every closer is Mariano Rivera, and it's just going to be unhittable every time. He made a mistake. He got punished for it. But I don't think my faith in Ben Davis is any less today than it was yesterday. I think that he's still very capable of being State's closer this year. They need to figure out a couple of guys more in the bullpen, but, I mean, they've got 4 or 5, maybe 6 guys that you can put out there and you feel really good about their ability to get outs. And then, I really feel good about McPherson and Valinkas as your Friday, Saturday guys. And Duke Stone, that may be the best lineup he faces this year. It'll certainly be one of the top 2 or 3. Most of the time on Sunday, he's going to be facing a team that he can overpower a little bit more. So, I really like what I saw from Mississippi State this weekend. They needed to be 2-1. If they lost to UCLA, nobody was going to complain. The way they lost that game, I mean, it felt like a heavyweight fight. They were throwing jabs, throwing haymakers, throwing knockout punches, both sides. That's 2 teams we'll probably see play each other again when we get into June.
Yeah, 8-7 the final. Obviously, in extras, UCLA scored 3. Mississippi State scored 2 in the bottom of the 10th. Just could not get it done. But you're exactly right, and that was a lot of the reaction in the baseball world. Was just how impressive the two teams were.
If you watch some of the national guys, and if you watch the games this weekend, you saw our friends Aaron Fitt and Jacob Rudner sitting right behind home plate for these games.
Special access.
They did. I asked about that. I asked Robbie about it. He said, yes, they had a partnership with the tournament. But both of those guys said, we came into this thinking Mississippi State was one of the best teams in the country, and we somehow left more impressed. Like, they said that. They were like, this team is better than we even thought it was. Now, that said, Mississippi State has a monstrous task in front of them tomorrow. First true road game of the season. Coming off of an emotional loss like that, I'm not trying to make excuses, but they got into Hattiesburg today, having come straight from Dallas. They're going to be facing an unbelievably electric atmosphere down there at Pete Taylor Park, and a really, really good Southern Mississippi team. This is going to be a real test. And if State passes this test, if State wins this game, if they just bounce back and go down there and beat USM, to me, that's a big sign that, hey, if they win this game tomorrow, they might not lose another non-conference game. Like, what do they have left on the schedule that would really worry you? I know it's baseball, but, like, outside of the Governor's Cup, what worries you about the non-conference schedule? Well, if you do that, and then, even if you're 15-15 in the SEC, that's a 40-15 season, or 40. I guess you'd be 39-16. You're certainly hosting with that resume, probably a top 8 seed.
Yeah.
And anything better than that. And look, when I look around the SEC now, and I see that Tennessee's not as good as everybody thought they were going to be. Vanderbilt doesn't appear to be as good as they thought. Arkansas doesn't appear to be as good as you think. There's a real opportunity here for State to be a team that locks up one of those top 8 spots and puts themselves in position to host a Super Regional. And that's really all you can do, is get to the Super Regional in your home stadium, and then you just got to find a way to win 2 games. So I was very impressed with Mississippi State. Obviously a heartbreaking loss yesterday, but there's no reason to think this team isn't going to bounce back.
Somebody in the text line says, who has Southern Miss beaten that's so good? We are not on this program going to downplay Southern Miss's schedule to this point.
That's what I'm saying. Never mind that. Like, this guy is a hardcore State fan, and that's great. But, like, pay attention, man. They've beaten Oregon State. They've beaten Alabama. They beat Louisiana Tech 3 times in their stadium. They went on the road and won 3 games at Louisiana Tech.
And run-rolled them once. Their bullpen didn't give up a single run.
Those will all be good wins for, they've beaten UC Santa Barbara, who is a good team.
UC Santa Barbara, by the way, since that, so UC Santa Barbara's ace is possibly the first pick in the draft. Mm-hmm. Like that good. Definitely going to be a first-rounder. Yeah. They have won every game since that series loss, including sweeping Utah this weekend by scores of 7-2, 7-1, and 12-1.
Yeah.
That's a good Santa Barbara team that they took 2 from, and they've won every game since. Absolutely dominated Alabama.
8-2, yeah. So what are we talking about here? Who have they beat?
They're a legitimately very good
but
team.
Here's my problem with this. Okay, guys, was just curious. I don't keep up with them. A, you listen to this show every day. B, the way you ask the question, who has Southern Miss beaten that's so good, implies that you think they haven't beaten anybody that's good. I mean,
they have.
Then they have. Who has State beat? Well, State beat Arizona State.
Southern Miss beat Baylor, who beat Ole Miss.
I'm saying State. State's beat Arizona State. They beat Virginia Tech. They beat Troy. They beat Austin Peay. Those are all good teams that'll probably, I don't know about Vatech, but those teams will be in the NCAA tournament discussion. Right,
I've got nothing more to add there.
No. I'm saying I haven't looked at RPI. It's obviously still very, very early in that. But a quick look at our old friend Warren Nolan. Southern Miss is the number 1 team in the nation in RPI. Mississippi State currently 31st. And part of that is because they've played 3 games. They played 6 games against Hofstra and Delaware. Those are not
Where's
good
Ole
teams.
Miss in that? They're
8th.
8th, okay.
Ole Miss dropped down to 8. And like I said, Santa Barbara is 3rd right now. We got a long way to go trying to figure all this out.
Mm-hmm.
It'll all settle itself in once we get into conference play a little bit.
Yeah. Are the days of Vanderbilt dominance over? Yes.
That's a good question. I feel like, because remember last year they were the number 1 overall seed.
Mm-hmm.
And then they lost in the regional. They didn't get out of their own regional.
because that's what allowed Southern Mississippi to host. And
who does that? Nobody does that. That's crazy that happened.
Don't get out your own regional? Yeah.
That's crazy.
Can you imagine? But this year, Vandy just they don't look right. I mean, they've already have, 4 losses in the season?
It hasn't felt right in a while. And I don't want to do the lazy thing that, well, now that they can't offer the scholarship advantage, they're not good anymore.
That plays a role, though.
But doesn't it? Right?
So they have 5 losses already. So what does that mean? It means they're not going to host. Unless they go and have a 19, 18-win season in conference play. And look, their losses aren't terrible, right? But they got swept this weekend in this Las Vegas tournament. They lost to UC Irvine, Arizona, and Oregon. They also have a loss to Oklahoma State and a loss to TCU. Now, TCU is a good team. But you can't lose games like this. You can't lose games and win. You cannot lose 5 non-conference games. You can't lose 5 of your first 12 games and expect to host unless you're just going to have a ridiculous run in conference play.
Somebody says Vandy's pitching is not what it used to be. And that very well could be the downside of they can't offer more than everybody else now.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where it's showing up, is the depth is just not there. Somebody says, and y'all don't forget this game is Southern Miss's Super Bowl with a laughing emoji. So he's making a joke. We're not going to do that on here either.
No.
We have a firm stance on the Super Bowl conversation Vandy on this show. We don't do it.
This is non-conference, and Vandy's ERA is 4.5. That does not bode well for SEC play.
No, it certainly does not. We will wrap the show up with you next at Sports Talk Mississippi in the Pearl River Resort Studio.
I can't believe what I'm hearing.
This is Sports Talk Mississippi, right here on Super Talk Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi, one more time with you. I'm Michael Borkey. He's Brian Hadad. Always glad that you guys are with us wherever you are in the state of Mississippi or beyond, because you can listen to us anywhere.
Anywhere
in the world. Literally anywhere in the world. Basketball Saturday, the thing that came away from Starkville is not the outcome. State got beat by 24, non-competitive. Chris James was asked after the game about him being linked to other jobs. What did he say?
Yeah, and he went into a little bit more detail today. And it gave, as the answers for those questions go, gave a pretty solid answer, I think. He said, I can't control what happens. When you're a young coach, that it's cool, right? You're like, oh, hey, they think I'm doing a good job. They think that, now at this point, it's more of a distraction than anything else. But he said it he said the thing out loud that we've been hearing. He contradicted it. He said, I love coaching at Mississippi State, and that Zach Selman has done a great job of funding this program to the necessary and required places. So he kind of fought back and pushed back on this narrative that's been going around of State not having funding in place to succeed in basketball, which, as anyone who listens to this show, my podcast, or anything else, or just has, a functioning brain, knows that that's a big load of malarkey.
Yeah.
That's never mind the players that State's been able to bring in the portal. Yes, those guys whiffed this year. The evaluations were bad, but the recruiting process for those guys, they cost money. Not to mention the fact that they've kept Hubbard. I mean, every basketball, Kentucky, Duke, Carolina, they'd all love to have Josh Hubbard, but he stays at Mississippi State. He ain't staying I'm sure he enjoys going to the Cotton District and getting a great meal at Two Brothers Smoked Meats as much as I do, but he ain't staying just for that.
No, none of them are.
No.
Now they like where they are.
Yeah,
but yeah. Ole Miss beats Auburn, breaks a 10-game losing streak in the process, wins at a place that, they have not had great success in. Now, Bruce Pearl not on the sidelines, but, Patton Pinkins was awesome. He's going to be a star. You got to keep his dad on staff. That is the biggest thing for Ole Miss this offseason, is to make sure that Patton Pinkins sticks around, because he is going to be a star. The true freshman is really talented. Mm-hmm. Storer was good off the bench again. What can you take away from this? Not much. I know Chris Beard said it gave a similar sentiment on the coaches show on Thursday about how he's committed to being at Ole Miss and stuff like that. And we talked about that some on Friday. I'm not the best at it, because I'm not the best at this, but I try hard anyway. I don't want to get too high or too low after a win. I saw some reaction that was like, hey, this is really encouraging. Look at all the pieces. They finally heard from their coach, and he said that he'll be back, and so the monkey's off their back now, and they're just playing. No. Auburn has lost 7 of 8. You've lost 10 straight. Those were 2 not good basketball teams. 1 win after losing 10 in a row does not erase the problems within the program. It's nice that the team didn't quit. They didn't quit.
Break the losing streak.
Yeah.
But don't try and take more from it than they just won a game.
No.
Against a team that's also struggling.
Agreed completely. So, they didn't quit. That's nice. You'd rather your coach say the things that he did than not. That's
especially
good too.
when you look at State, where there's definitely some questions about the effort that State is putting out. And Jans addressed that post-game as well. He said, hey, that's on me. I've got to get these guys motivated to play. That's 1A on my job list.
But 10 or possibly 11 SEC teams are going to make the NCAA tournament. You're not one. That's you won in the Plains. It's great. But there's a lot of work that needs to be done. A lot of work that needs to be done. And, it's great to see your team win. But
it was
but
fun.
That's all that
if you're an Ole Miss fan and you watched that game, you walked away happy.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah. And I promise you, this was one of the few times where Mississippi State fans were watching that game going, you know what? Go Rebs. Because it's just making sure that Auburn gets out, because it's just funny. Because both State and Ole Miss are not going to make it anyway, so who cares?
And then the SEC tournament will happen. And I assume, even if given the opportunity, the NIT will not be a thing here this year.
Yeah, I don't know if it will be in State either. I'm interested to see if State and Ole Miss play each other in the SEC tournament. I don't know. If it was today, I haven't looked at the standings, but it would be 12 and 13 play each other, and so do 11 and 14. So let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Southeastern Conference. So there's 16. Nah, I don't think they would play each other. I don't think they would, but they might. They might. I don't know if they would or not, though. Do we really want another one? Neither one of those games were exactly the most aesthetically pleasing college basketball games we've ever watched by any stretch of the imagination. So we shall see. Both teams, by the way, Mississippi State tomorrow night. Great job for the Science. Mississippi State at Florida. Mississippi State baseball at Southern Miss. I feel like basketball is going to give the sacrifice. We'll see if baseball can take advantage of it and manipulate the Science to the Bulldogs' advantage. Big baseball game tomorrow, Mississippi State and Southern Miss. We will be talking about that plus much more when we talk to you again tomorrow at 3:06 p.m. For Michael Borkey, I'm Brian Hadad. Thanks for listening to Sports Talk Mississippi. Rhino's right there, by the way. There he is. I don't know if you're looking or not. We'll talk to you guys again tomorrow.
SuperTalk Mississippi Media Production.